मैडम, अभी कोई ऑर्डर नहीं है, तो लूम आजकल बंद है. The superintendent of Buxar Central Jail tells me when I call. But by the time you see this film, they could be at work again, as they have since the 1930s. In a secluded section of the prison, behind high walls, where prisoners produce thick, supple, strong rope for the hanging of others like themselves. Weave me a rope from this endless night. Weave me a rope that will pull me through to ask the questions. Are we executing justice? Are we executing people? Are we seeing the difference?
I was born in 1950 on the day of Gandhiji's martyrdom. In 1969, I was in contact with so-called Naxalites. I wanted to dedicate myself whole time to revolution. And so I came out of family. I burnt all my certificates, came out of my studies. I was courier of the state committee. And I sent to Tiruchirappalli. I saw Charmasundar. It was a thrill after all. His one word has turned my life upside down. He had given a call, appealed to students and youth to come to the villages and mobilize the masses for annihilation. That was the only form of armed struggle at that time. I was introduced to him as a first student from Tamil Nadu who has come as a professional revolutionary. The annihilation of class enemies was attracted to me only due to a single case, the case of Kizha Venmani. When I came to the villages, I inquired about when are we going to get him. They said it is very difficult. He is being protected by private guards, then the police. And he is also very vigilant about his protection. Our state committee advised me not to be in a hurry. First of all, you do some other annihilation, one or two. And all these squads can be combined to raid Irinchu, which was his village. The first attack was a failed attempt. Then the second was the Thiruvanam Muthu Thangappa. He was actually a cruel landlord. He was a caste fanatic. And his crimes against women was very notorious. We went to the place where he daily visits for his morning course. He was standing on the bund, we were standing near the water area. He just cried out, "Hey, Kanda, Muruga, everybody come here, catch them and tie them up." He asked, "What are you having it in your bag?" One of us said, "Paakanungrarla kaatungada." So saying, he first cut him and I attacked him from the behind. It was over in a matter of seconds. And we ran. The problem arose that we didn't have a good acquaintance with the area. Suddenly, I lost the direction. I was running in the opposite direction of where I wanted to go. People are coming from all the sides. They caught me. The crowd wanted to take me to the same place and cut my head at that place. I decided to tell them that this is a movement. These are our accusations against the deceased person. We had a charge sheet against him. We had a judgment written against him. Why we are giving this death sentence? Why we are executing him? My father didn't want to hear anything about me. When the death sentence was awarded, my mother came to me. She told me, the police people told me to advise you to become an approver. I will tell you one thing. Never betray the other two. If you go to the gallows, go with them. If you come out, come with the other two. You should be true to your friends until the last. That is my wish.
रात बाकी थी अभी जब सरे बाली आकर चांद ने मुझसे कहा जाग सहर आई है। जाग इस शब जो मेरे ख्वाब तेरा हिस्सा थी जाम के लब से तहे जाम उतर आई है। हक से जाना को विदा करके उठी मेरी नजर शब के ठहरे हुए पानी की स्याह चादर पर जा बजा रक्स में आने लगे चांदी के बंगर। चांद के हाथ से तारों के कंवल गिर गिर कर डूबते तैरते मुरझाते रहे खिलते रहे। रात और सुबह बहुत देर गले मिलते रहे।
అప్పట్లో నేను పెద్దగా చదువుకోలేదండి. 4 టైమ్స్ నేను 10th క్లాస్ ఫెయిల్యూర్ అయిపోయాను. కారణం ఏంటంటే ఆర్థిక సమస్యలు ఎక్కువగా ఉండేవి. ఇంట్లో ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్స్ ఉన్నారు, వృద్ధులైన తల్లిదండ్రులు ఉన్నారు, అక్క చెల్లెలు ఉన్నారు. అక్కయ్య కంటే మ్యారేజ్ అయిపోయింది కానీ చెల్లెలకి మ్యారేజ్ చేయాలి. అప్పుడు నేను కూడా లవ్ మ్యారేజ్ చేసుకున్నాను. అప్పటికి కూడా ఒక పాప పుట్టిందనమాట. ఫస్ట్ మా నాన్నగారు ఆర్ఎంపీ డాక్టర్ అండి. ఈ పొలిటికల్ అంటే గ్రామంలో రాజకీయాలు ఉంటాయి కదా, దాంట్లో కొంచెం దెబ్బ తినేసి అక్కడ ఉండకూడదని చెప్పేసి మా గ్రామం నుంచి వేసేసి గుంటూరు జిల్లా నరసరావుపేట అనేటటువంటి ఊరికి వెళ్ళేసి అక్కడే స్థిరపడటం జరిగింది. అక్కడ ఫస్ట్ ఫ్రూట్స్ అమ్మటము అవి చేసేది ఒక షాప్ పెట్టారు. అందులో కూడా లాస్ వచ్చేసి చివరికి పేదరికంలోనే మగ్గిపోయాం. అంటే ఒక విధంగా చెప్పాలంటే కూలి పని చేసుకునే బ్రతికాం. మామూలుగా హరిజన మాల అని మాత్రం తెలుసు గ్రామంలో. మరి ఏం చేయాలి అని అంటే ఇక కష్టపడి పెయింటింగ్ నేను అయితే బిల్డింగ్ పెయింట్ వర్క్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉండేవాడిని. దానివల్ల అప్పట్లో రోజుకు వచ్చేసి 30 రూపాయలు అంటే బయట కూలి కంటే కూడా మా కాంట్రాక్టర్ అంటే వాళ్ళు పూర్తిగా ఇచ్చేవాళ్ళు కాదు. అది కూడా నెల మొత్తం కూడా పని ఉండేది కాదు. ఈ ఆర్థిక సమస్యలు మరి పెళ్ళి అంటే చిన్న విషయం కాదు కదా, ఇవన్నీ ఏం చేయాలని చెప్పేసి మా ఫ్రెండ్స్ని అడిగినప్పుడు మా ఫ్రెండ్ ఒక అతను ఇలాగ మనం ఏదన్నా క్రైమ్ చేద్దాము, ఇలా డబ్బులు వస్తాయి మనకి ఈజీగా సంపాదించవచ్చు అని చెప్పాడండి. ఏం చేద్దాము ఏందని చెప్పేసి అనుకున్నప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ హౌస్కి వెళ్దాం అనుకున్నాం. కానీ ధైర్యం సరిపోలేదు. అప్పుడు పాత న్యూస్ పేపర్లన్నీ తిరిగేసి 3 వ్యక్తులు కలిసేసి ఒక బస్సుని రోబరేజ్ చేశారు. కేవలం వెపన్సే కాకుండా పెట్రోల్ తీసుకెళ్ళి వాళ్ళని బెదిరించేసి దోచుకొని వెళ్ళిపోయారనమాట. పోయిన తర్వాత ఇది బాగుంది, ఈజీగా ఉంది. లేదండి, మాకు ముందస్తు ఆలోచన, అసలు చంపాలన్న ఆలోచనే మాకు లేదు. ఇలాగ అవుతుందని కానీ అసలు పెట్రోల్కి అంత పవర్ ఉందని కూడా మాకు ఆ వయసులో తెలియదు నాకు. మేము చేయాలనుకున్న నేరము ఈవినింగ్ ఆ టైంలో ఏదో ఇన్సిడెంట్ వల్ల ఒక్క బస్సు కూడా రాలేదు ఆ రోడ్లో. వెనక్కి వచ్చేటప్పుడు అక్కడ సినిమా ఆడుతోంది అని చెప్పారంటే సరేనని చెప్పేసి సినిమాకి వెళ్ళిపోయాం. సినిమా చూసేసిన తర్వాత ఆలోచన వచ్చింది. అందులో ఈ దూరం నుంచి వస్తూ ఉంటే సూపర్ లగ్జరీ బస్సులు ఎక్కారనుకో, అప్పుడు వాటిలో ప్రయాణికుల దగ్గర కూడా డబ్బులు కూడా ఎక్కువగా ఉంటాయి. అప్పుడు ఇద్దరం వెళ్ళిపోయేసి మేము బస్సు ఎక్కేసాం. ఒక 2 అడుగులు కూడా వేయలేదు నేను. ఇలా ఓపెన్ చేసి ఇలా పోసి 2-3 అడుగులు అలా వచ్చానో లేదో వెంటనే డ్రైవరు ఎక్కడో పెట్రోల్ డబ్బా ఒలిగిపోయినట్టుగా ఉంది చూడండి, వాసన వస్తుందని చెప్పేసి మాట్లాడుతూనే సైడ్ తీసేసి బస్సు ఆపేశాడు. అక్కడ మిలుకుతో ఉన్నటువంటి ప్రయాణికుల్లో ఒక అలజడి లేగేసేసి ఎవరో నక్సలైట్లు బస్సు తగలబెట్టేస్తున్నారు, దూకేయండి అని చెప్పేసి ఎవరో అరిచేశారు. ఇలా కాదని చెప్పేసి నేను వెపన్ బయటికి తీసేసి వీళ్ళని బెదిరించుకుంటూ కండక్టర్ డోర్ దగ్గరకు వచ్చేసేసి నేను దిగేసేసి బయటకు వెళ్ళిపోయాను. వెపన్ తీసుకొని నేను అలా ముందుకు 2 అడుగులు వేసాను. లోపల బర్న్ అయిపోయింది. తీసి డోర్ లాగేశాను. లాగేస్తే సుమారుగా 10-15 మంది దాకా సుమారు బయటకు వచ్చేసారు. బయటకు వచ్చేసిన తర్వాత ఒక అతను చొక్కా కాలిపోతుంటే మట్టి తీసేసేసి అతని మీద ఆరిపేశాను. ఈ మట్టి తీసి వేసేటప్పుడు నాకు ఆలోచన వచ్చింది, ఇది మా వల్లే కదా ఇది జరిగింది, అమ్మో అని చెప్పేసి నేను వాళ్ళని వదిలేసేసేసి నేను పరిగెత్తుకుంటా ముందుకు వెళ్ళిపోయాను. ఇంటికి వచ్చేటప్పటికే ప్రాంతీయ వార్తల్లో చెప్తారు, మా ఇంట్లో వాళ్ళు మా అమ్మగారు వీళ్ళు ఉంటారు కదా, వీళ్ళు తిట్టేస్తున్నారు అనమాట. ఎవరో దుర్మార్గులు ఇలా చిలకలూరుపేట దగ్గర బస్సు తగలబెట్టారంట, 15 మంది చనిపోయారంట అందులో అని చెప్పేసి వాళ్ళు తిట్టుకుంటా ఉన్నారు. నేను తెలుసుకున్నాను. మళ్ళీ వెంటనే నేను సిటీ బస్సు ఎక్కేసేసి గవర్నమెంట్ హాస్పిటల్ మీదుగా నేను వెళ్ళిపోయాను అనమాట. వెళ్ళిపోతే మొత్తం ఎక్కడ చూసినా పోలీసే. తీరా మరుసటి రోజు పేపర్ చూస్తే మా ఇన్సిడెంటే ఇలా జరిగిందని చెప్పేసి అప్పుడు తెలిసింది నాకు.
I am thinking about crime and punishment and accountability when words from Why I Am an Atheist, an essay by the revolutionary freedom fighter Bhagat Singh, come to my mind. In saffron, in red, in green, in blue. In almost every shade of politics, it seems easy to celebrate Bhagat Singh as a national hero. Much harder to face the challenges he poses for us, almost a century after he was hanged to death.
మా వాళ్ళు కూడా ఏంటంటే వాళ్ళు భయాందోళనకు వాళ్ళు గురైపోయి వీడెప్పుడు నేరం చేశాడు, వీడు ఎవరినో కాపాడటానికి వీడు నేరం మీద వేసుకుంటున్నాడు అని చెప్పేసి వాళ్ళు ఫీల్ అయ్యి నన్ను వచ్చి అడిగారు. సబ్జెక్ట్లో ఉన్నప్పుడు నేనే చేశానని చెప్తే కొద్ది రోజులు మా అమ్మ నాన్న ఇంటర్వ్యూకి రాలేదు. ఆ తర్వాత మళ్ళీ రావడం మొదలుపెట్టారు. జరిగిందంత విషయం చెప్పేటప్పటికీ ఇలా జరిగింది, మాకేం తెలియదు, మేము కావాలని చేయలేదు, యాక్సిడెంట్లుగా జరిగిపోయింది. అసలు యాక్చువల్గా ఈ రోజుకి కూడా బర్న్ ఎలా అయిందన్న విషయం మాకు తెలియదు.
Judge Kuppannan was once asking me repeatedly a few questions, and I told him, our case is the revolutionary cause, we have nothing more to bore you, leave it. And he just kept shut.
ఫస్ట్ సెషన్ కోర్టులో ఉరిశిక్ష పడంగానే మా కుటుంబ సభ్యులు అక్కడే ఉన్నారు దగ్గరలో. వాళ్ళు పెద్దగా ఏడవటం మొదలుపెట్టారు, మేమే ఏడ్చేసాము. ఒక అరగంట సేపు ఏడవటమే సరిపోయింది తప్పించేసి ఇంకా వేరేదైతే లేదు అప్పుడు స్టార్టింగ్లో. ఆ తర్వాత జైలుకి వెళ్ళిపోవడము, ఆ తర్వాత ఆధ్యాత్మికంగా బైబిల్ చదవడము, బైబిల్ చదివేసేసి ఆ బైబిల్లో మాటలను ఇవన్నీ కూడా అవగాహన చేసుకుంటూ దేవుని కృప ఉంది, ఎవరో ఒకళ్ళ ద్వారా మనకు సహాయం చేస్తాడనేటట్టు ఒక నమ్మకంతో మామూలుగా వస్తూ ఉన్నాము. మాకు జడ్జిమెంట్ కాగితాల్లో వాళ్ళ చిరునామాలు ఉన్నాయి. వాళ్ళ చిరునామాలు ఉంటే వాళ్ళ అడ్రస్లు ఉన్నాయి. ఆ అడ్రస్సుల్లో ఉత్తరాలు అయితే మాత్రం మరి మాకు ఇలా అనుకోకుండా ఇలా జరిగిపోయింది, మేము ఉద్దేశపూర్వకంగా చేయలేదు, మీరు మమ్మల్ని క్షమిస్తారని కాదు కానీ క్షమించమని కోరడం మా ధర్మం కాబట్టి దయచేసి మమ్మల్ని క్షమించండి అని చెప్పేసి ఉత్తరాలు రాశాం.
The deceased man's wife came there. She was some witness or something else. She had come to court. She was sitting there on a bench. After we returned to prison, I told other comrades I want to write to her, expressing sorries, to say sorry for her plight.
వాళ్ళు ఒక ఆయన పేరు రాయలేదు కానీ అప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ తిడుతూ రాశాడు. తిడుతూ రాసి మమ్మల్ని, తర్వాత మాకు మద్దతు ఇచ్చేటటువంటి పౌర హక్కులు అయితే ఏంటి, మానవ హక్కులు అయితే ఏంటి, ప్రజా సంఘాల వాళ్ళని కూడా తిడుతూ, ఇంకా మీకు జైల్లో కాదు, మీకు చావే కరెక్టు, అయితే మీ ఉత్తరం మాకు అందింది, సరేలే అయితే మిమ్మల్ని దేవుడే చూసుకుంటాడులే, మీ చావు మీరు చావండి అని చెప్పేసి, అంటే అటు పూర్తిగా మాకు క్షమిస్తున్నాము అని కాకుండా, క్షమించమని కాకుండా తిడుతూ, అంటే వాళ్ళకి జరిగిన బాధను బట్టి వాళ్ళు తిడుతూ రాసేసేసి ఇక మీ చావు మీరు చావండి.
सहने जिंदा में रफीकों के सुनहरी चेहरे सतह जुल्मत से दमकते हुए उभरे कम कम, नींद की ओस ने चेहरों से धो डाला था देश का दर्द, फिराके रुख महबूब का गम। दूर नौबत हुई, फिरने लगे बेजार कदम, जर्द फाकों के सताए हुए पहरे वाले, अहले जिंदा के गजबनाक खरोशा नाले, जिनकी बाहों में फेरा करते हैं बाहें डाले।
तो ये शुरुआत हो गया ऐसे कि मैं किसके घर में काम कर रहा था, आज एन चाइल्ड लेबर, कुछ नहीं था। जैसे मैं वो सैंड को टच किया तो मुझे फील आया कि ये मेरा कैनवास है और मेरा जो फिंगर्स है वो मेरे लिए पेंसिल और कलर है। और अगर आप ग्लोबली देखेंगे अभी मोस्टली आर्टिस्ट अभी कैनवास से थोड़ा मूवमेंट करके अभी सोसाइटी की तरफ आ गए। तो इसीलिए मेरा वो सोच है कि जो सोशल इशूज और करंट टॉपिक के ऊपर ये स्कल्पचर्स बनना चाहिए। जैसे सुनामी का जब ये था, अब मैंने सोचा मैं जिस बीच पे इतने सारे स्कल्पचर्स क्रिएट करता हूँ, इसका अदर पार्ट में देखता हूँ लाखों लोगों का जान चला गया, तो मैं एज एन आर्टिस्ट क्या कर सकता हूँ। मैंने सोचा एटलीस्ट एक स्कल्पचर बना के मैं ट्रिब्यूट दे सकता हूँ और उसके साथ में लोगों में एक मैसेज देता हूँ कि हेल्प द सुनामी विक्टिम्स। ये जो नेशनल थिंग्स है, जो देश को एकजुट करना है, ये हम लोग कभी छोड़ना नहीं चाहिए।
I remember those days I was living in मुखर्जी नगर। जिस घर में रहता था, मतलब इसकी भी अपनी एक कहानी थी, जो किस तरह से घर मिला। Being a Kashmiri Muslim, that was the problem। जिस दिन ये पार्लियामेंट वाला हुआ 13 दिसंबर को, I was at home। टीवी ऑन किया, कुछ देर सुनता रहा खबरें, उसके बाद मैं निकला घर से। बस खाली थी ऑलमोस्ट। एक सज्जन आए, खड़े थे, उन्होंने कहा कि आप अंदर हो जाइए, मैं बैठूंगा। मैंने कहा भाई मुझे आगे उतरना है, आप इधर आ जाओ। तो थोड़ी देर में कि हमारे साहब आपसे बात करना चाहते हैं, आप नीचे आ जाइए। मैंने कहा आप हों कौन? मैं दिल्ली पुलिस का हूँ। ड्राइवर चलने लगा तो उसका आवाज़ दी रोको, उसने रोकी। मैंने कहा अब यहाँ को हो जाएगा, कियोस हो जाएगा। मैं नीचे उतर गया उसके साथ। पीछे एक सफ़ेद मारुति 800 खड़ी थी, उसमें कुछ लोग सिविलियन क्लोथ्स में सारे, वो अंदर डाला और इधर से भी एक आदमी इधर से भी बैठा, दोनों ने पिस्टल लगा दी कि बैठ जाओ। कहीं से भी नहीं लग रहा था कि कोई लॉ इन्फोर्समेंट एजेंसी के कोई लोग हैं। मैंने कहा भैया तो गलत आदमी को पकड़ रहे हैं। कि नहीं नहीं हमें पता है प्रोफेसर है तो यही सब। उसके बाद हाथ बांधे और ब्लाइंड फोल्ड किया और काफ़ी देर चलता रहा, कुछ पता नहीं लगा कहाँ जा रहे। बहुत देर में जाकर उतारा गया मुझे। अंदर ब्लाइंड फोल्ड खोला तो मुझे लगा कि सैनिक फॉर्म टाइप का था, इस तरह का कोई जगह थी। मतलब कोई इंक्वायरी कौन हो, कैसे हो, क्या हो, कुछ नहीं। सिर्फ एक चीज़ थी कि पार्लियामेंट पर किसने अटैक किया। मैंने कहा भाई मुझे क्या पता किसने किया, आपको पता होगा। और उसके बाद टॉर्चर स्टार्ट हो गया। मतलब उन्होंने रिमूव माई क्लोथ्स, बिल्कुल कंप्लीटली स्ट्रिप्ड, हंग मी अपसाइड डाउन, और फिर जस्ट जो भी टॉर्चर जो आप सोच सकते हैं दे स्टार्टेड डूइंग। ग्रुप होता था पूरा। बहुत ठंडा था मौसम, ठंडा पानी डालना, बर्फ पे चलाना, ये सब इट वेंट ऑन। मतलब वो तब तक होता था जब तक मैं बेहोश हो जाता था ऑलमोस्ट। अलग अलग जगहों पर ले गए। खाना जब आया तो प्लेट में लिखा हुआ था BSF कैंप बिलासपुर। These were the sort of clues जो मिलते थे। कहीं पंखे पे नज़र पड़ी, वहाँ पर स्पेशल सेल लिखा हुआ था। इनके सेफ हाउसेस हैं बहुत जगह, अंडरग्राउंड, ओवरग्राउंड। इसी चीज़ के काम आते हैं। किसी को किडनैप करके रखना हो, दैट वाज ए किडनैप, कोई अरेस्ट नहीं था। आई वॉज ब्लीडिंग फ्रॉम डिफरेंट पार्ट्स पे, ब्लीडिंग कम सब कुछ हो रहा था। तो उन्हें लगा कि शायद फिजिकल टॉर्चर से हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते, साइकोलॉजिकल टॉर्चर वो करें। तो उन्होंने कहा कि इसके बच्चों को उठाओ, इसकी वाइफ का रेप करेंगे इसके सामने और ये करेंगे वो। मैंने उसको, एक इंस्पेक्टर था वो, तो उसको बुलाया मैंने कहा देखो इस हालत में इनके सामने मत ले जाना। ये मतलब मेरे लिए कोई बुरा नहीं है, लेकिन डेमोक्रेसी की जो छवि इनके दिमाग पे बनेगी वो हमेशा रहेगी। तो माय वाइफ स्पोक टू मी। मैंने कहा देखो ये इसको कश्मीर मूवमेंट के साथ जोड़ना चाहते हैं, मैं वो नहीं होने दूंगा, ऐसा नहीं। ये शौकत, अफजल, माई सेल्फ, ये स्पेशल सेल के ही लोग हैं। 15 या 16 को हमें मजिस्ट्रेट के पास ले गए। तब मैंने देखा वहाँ पर शौकत और अफजल हैं। उनके साथ बहुत टॉर्चर किया था। सिर्फ टॉर्चर नहीं बल्कि उनको मतलब टॉर्चर डिफरेंट, उन पर उनके मुंह में पेशाब भी, मतलब बहुत उनके साथ ज्यादतियाँ हुई थी। मैंने उनसे कहा कि मैंने कहा छोड़ो, अब जो कुछ हुआ वो हो गया। तो अब तक पुलिस के साथ था, अब जुडिशरी है, तो आई थिंक वील गेट ए फेयर ट्रायल।
लज़्ज़ते ख्वाब से मखमूर हवाएं जागी, जेल की जहर भरी चूर सदाएं जागी। दूर दरवाजा खुला, कोई बंद हुआ, दूर मछली कोई जंजीर मचल कर रोई। दूर उतरा किसी ताले के जिगर में खंजर, असर पटकने लगा रह के दरीचा कोई। गोया फिर ख्वाब से बेदार हुए दुश्मन जान, संग फौलाद से ढाले हुए जिन्नात गिरा। जिनके चुंगल में शबो रोज है फरियाद खुना, मेरे बेकार शबो रोज की नाजुक परियां। अपने शहपूर की राह देख रही है ये असीर, जिसके तर्कश में है उम्मीद के जलते हुए तीर।
Across borders, boundaries and time, the voice of Faiz Ahmad Faiz reaches us. from the prisons of Pakistan when he was falsely accused in the Rawalpindi conspiracy and sentenced to death. But Faiz is known to have said that being in prison is like being in love. It heightens all your senses. And the evidence lives on in the verses he wrote in that period, which still evoke the impossible. Life on death row.
The very first day I was sent to jail, before I was charged, I was put in that condemned cell. एक नंबर सेल डेथ रो। इसमें जहाँ जहाँ से भी लाइट आ सकती थी वो ब्लॉक कर रखी थी। एक छोटा सी जगह थी जहाँ बल्ब लगा हुआ था, आधा बाहर था आधा अंदर था। It would just add to the gloom. सीलन सी थी, बहुत दिनों से बंद पड़ी होगी। उस सेल से पहले राइट हैंड पे ये फांसी का कटघरा है। वो बता रहे थे कि वो मकबूल भट्ट इज बरीड समवेयर नियर देयर। मकबूल भट्ट वाज अ कश्मीरी नेशनलिस्ट, सो दे वाज सॉर्ट ऑफ गिविंग मी अ पिक्चर कि दिस इज द रूट ही हैज ट्रैवल्ड, यू हैव टू ट्रैवल द सेम। खबर थी पूरे में कि भाई यहाँ पर है खूनखार आतंकवादी है यहाँ पर। रात में इनके ऑफिसर्स वगैरह काफ़ी भीड़ थी, वो बाहर थे, मतलब आई कुडंट सी देम, बट जो पैरों की जो आवाज़ें थी वो बातें कर रहे थे, वो सब हो रहा। मुझे शरारत सूझी, मैं ज़ोर से चिल्लाया कौन है, और दे स्टार्टेड रनिंग। मुझे बड़ी ज़ोर से हंसी आई। मैंने कहा यार ये देखो कितने बुज़दिल हैं लोग। मैं ये जानते हैं कि मैं ये कितने तालों में, लिटरली कितने ताले लगा रखे हैं उन्होंने मुझ पर, और इतने मोटे मोटे ताले कि कोई अपना पूरा वजूद भी उस पर डाल दे तब भी कुछ नहीं कर सकता। और मैं अंदर से चिल्ला रहा हूँ और ये बाहर डाल रहे हैं।
ये prison official asked me, see, what do you believe in? I believe in annihilation. Annihilation of class enemies. In prison, if we annihilate you, you can do whatever with me. I told him. Put him in the death row, he said. I went to the death row in Central Jail, Chennai, even when he was an under-trial prisoner.
अब ये जो शिफ्ट इनका चेंज होता है तो उसमें तो AK-47 हैंड ओवर करते समय वो उसका वो मैगज़ीन निकालते हैं, उसकी गोलियां निकालते हैं। मैगज़ीन से जब वो गोलियां निकलती हैं तो उसमें एक आवाज़ आती है, टिक टिक टिक। सो दैट साउंड, दैट साउंड विच उसका होता था, वो मेरे लिए एक घड़ी का काम करता था।
What I used to say is, colonialism and Brahminism has one thing in common. They differentiate by birth. Both consider certain communities themselves to be criminal communities.
तो अफशान रो रही थी। तो जज ने उससे पूछा, एहसन ढींगरा ने कहा कि क्यों रो रही, क्यों ये रखा। कहने लगा मैं इसलिए रो रही हूँ कि मुझे पहले ये बताइए मुझे क्यों गिरफ्तार कर रखा, क्यों अरेस्ट किया मुझे। अगर मेरे हस्बैंड ने कोई, शौकत ने कोई गलती की है, अगर की है, मुझे नहीं पता, तो उसकी वजह से मुझे क्यों घसीट रहे हो, क्यों मुझे गिरफ्तार। तो उसका जो इसका जज का जो रिप्लाई था, दैट एक्चुअली सेड एवरीथिंग। उसका था कि अरे अब इस रोने धोने से कुछ नहीं होता, बंद करो ये तो तुम्हें तब सोचना चाहिए था जब तुम इनके साथ बैठ के कंस्पायर कर रही थी पार्लियामेंट में अटैक करने के लिए। और ये है कि उसके 6 महीने बाद हमें चार्जशीट मिला है। टिल देन वी वर नॉट चार्ज्ड, एक जज कह रहा है, स्पेशल जज। तो इट्स ऑब्वियस क्या होना है।
I am reading the Model Prison Manual of 2016 that starts with the words of Gandhi. Crime is the outcome of a diseased mind, and jail must have the environment of a hospital for treatment and care. But my conversations remind me more of the Manusmriti, which instructs that punishments depend on the varna of the victim as well as the criminal. If a Brahmin is awarded the death sentence, it is sufficient to shave his head. But Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras are to actually die, as are women declared guilty of adultery.
When you are being accused of something against the nation, it gives them pleasure, it gives them the sadistic pleasure that we can handle these people the way we want to. It is hyper-nationalism.
मुझे ये फील होता है अगर देश को अगर स्ट्रांग बनाना है तो मुझे सोसाइटी को मैसेज देना चाहिए कि स्टॉप टेररिज्म, हम लोग पीसफुल वे में कुछ करना चाहिए। जैसे मैंने बिन लादेन के ऊपर भी स्कल्पचर्स किया है, सद्दाम हुसैन जी के ऊपर भी किया है। मैं 26/11 को भी किया था स्कल्पचर कि एंडिंग क्या हो रहा है उन लोग का, जो भी टेररिस्ट हैं उनका एंडिंग क्या हो रहा है। अगर लोगों को हम कुछ अच्छे वे से बोल सकते हैं, मैं सोचता हूँ कि कुछ तो हो सकता है।
கொஞ்சம் இருக்காது. தங்க தமிழகத்தின் பொங்கு கடல் அலையினிலே போராடி மீன் பிடிக்கும் மீனவனின் வாழ்க்கை இப்போ மீன் விடும் மூச்சு அது கரைக்கு வந்தா போச்சு, மீன் விடும் மூச்சு அது கரைக்கு வந்தா போச்சு, வங்க கடல் முழுதும் எங்கள் தங்க மீனவனின் வங்க கடல் முழுதும். கடல் வேட்டைக்கு எல்லை கிடையாது. காரணம், எல்லை என்பது சமீப காலத்தில் உருவாக்கப்பட்டது தான். ரொம்ப முன்னாடி அவங்களுக்கு பாடுறது தெரியாது. மீனவர்களுக்கு ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட காலத்துக்கு பின்ன இன்டர்நேஷனல் பாடம் எங்கே இருக்குன்னு ஜிபிஎஸ்ல அவங்க பார்ப்பாங்க. இந்திய மீனவர்கள், இலங்கை மீனவர்களுமே அந்த பாடம் தெரிஞ்சு தான் நம்ம கடல் பகுதியில் மீன் பிடிக்க வர்றாங்க. சிங்கள மீனவர்கள் பே ஆஃப் பெங்காலில் வர்றாங்க, இந்தியன் ஓஷன்லாம் வர்றாங்க. டியூனா மீன் இங்கே இருக்குது, நம்ம மீனவர்கள் பிடிக்கிற இறால் மீன் அங்கே பிடிக்கிறது. அப்போ ஆக மீனவர்கள் எல்லை தாண்டி மீன் பிடிப்பதை ஒரு சட்ட மீறலாக, சமூக விரோத செயலாக அவங்க பார்க்கவே இல்லை.
நான் சின்ன வயசுலேருந்து கடத்தொழில் தான், வேறு தொழில் நமக்கு படிப்பறிவு அவ்வளோ இல்லை. அங்கே போனால் திரும்பி உயிரோட வருவோமா, அந்த மரண பயம், மரண ஓலம். முன்ன இருந்ததோட இது கூடுதலாக தான் இருக்கு. இதே நாளில் என் மகனுக்கு பிறந்த நாள், அதை கொண்டாடிட்டு காலையில் 5 மணிக்கு இங்கேருந்து கிளம்பி ராமேஸ்வரம் போய் தான் தொழிலுக்கு போகணும். அங்கே போகிறோம், போய் 7 மணிக்கு கடலுக்கு போகிறோம். 2 மணி நேரத்துக்கு வலையை வாங்கிட்டு அதில் உள்ள மீன் எடுத்துட்டு மறுபடியும் போடுவோம் நெட்ட கடலில், மறுபடியும் இழுத்துக்கிட்டே இருப்போம். அப்போ இரவு 11 மணி ஸ்ரீலங்கன் நேவி 2 நேவி அங்கிட்ட ஒரு நேவி இங்கிட்ட ஒரு நேவி போட்ட அணைச்சிட்டாங்க. இன்னும் அங்கேருந்து ஒரு 4-5 பேர் ஏறிட்டாங்க எங்கள் ரோலரில். வந்த உடனே அடிக்கிறாங்க, எதுவுமே சொல்லாமல் அடிக்கிறாங்க. நம்ம கேள்வி கேட்க முடியாது, எதிர்த்து பேசக்கூடாது, பேசுனா சுற்றுவார். இரவு ஒரு 2 மணி 2:30 இருக்கு, எழுந்து கேம்பில் அணைக்கிறாங்க எங்கள். வந்த உடனே பின்னாடி கையும் கண்ணையும் கட்டிட்டாங்க. அடிச்சுக்கிட்டு இருக்கும்போதே பாட்டு பாட சொல்கிறோம், சினிமா பாட்டு, கடவுள் பாட்டு, எந்த பாட்டாகுது. அப்போ யாருமே பாட முடியாது, மறுபடியும் அடிக்கிறோம். அப்போ தான் சொல்கிறாங்க இந்த ஹெராயின் கேஸில் நாங்களும் அரெஸ்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கோம்.
கரையை வர்ற நாளைக்கு நாங்கள் ஃபோன் காண்டாக்ட் பண்ணிக்குவோம். ஃபோன் பண்ணால் ஃபோன் ரீச் ஆகலை. 9 மணிக்கு ஃபோன் பண்ணுறா ரீச் ஆகலை, 10 மணிக்கு ஃபோன் பண்ணுறா ரீச் ஆகலை, 11 மணி 12 மணி இப்படி நேரம் கடந்து போகுது. கடந்து போகும்போது எங்களுக்கே ஒரு பயம், அப்போ என்னமோ நம்மளுக்கு நடந்து போச்சு, என்னன்னு சொல்லி தெரியலை, நம்மளுக்கு கன்ஃபார்மாக தெரியலைன்னு டிவி நியூஸை வைக்கிறோம். டிவி ஆன் பண்ண உடனே நியூஸ் வந்துருச்சு, இலங்கை கடற்படையால் ஒரு படகும் 5 மீனவர்களும் கொண்டுட்டு போயிட்டாங்க அப்படின்னு மட்டும். யார் போட்டு என்னன்றது தெரியலை. யோசித்துக்கிட்டே இருக்கும்போது எனக்கு ஒரு ஃபோன் மட்டும் வந்துச்சு, உங்கள் மாமா போன போட்டு தான் பிடிபட்டுருச்சு அப்படின்னு. வெள்ளிக்கிழமை வந்து நியூஸ் வருது, போதைப்பொருள் கேஸில் போட்டு அரெஸ்ட் ஆகியிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு. அப்போ உடனே என்ன செஞ்சுட்டாங்க, ராமேஸ்வரம், பாம்பன், தங்கச்சி மடம் 3 மீனவர் சங்கமும் உடனே பேசி கூட்டம் நடக்கு வாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க.
முதல்ல வந்து விரட்டி அடித்து காணாமல் போக வச்சாங்க, அப்புறமா சுட்டாங்க, அப்புறம் சித்திரவதை பண்ணாங்க, அப்புறம் கைது பண்ணாங்க. இப்படி படிப்படியாக ஒவ்வொன்றா மாற்றி கொண்டு இருப்பாங்க. இது ஏன் அப்படின்னா, இலங்கை கடற்பகுதிக்குள்ளே இந்திய மீனவர்கள் மீன் பிடிக்கக்கூடாது அப்படி தான் அவங்க சொன்னாங்க. ஆனால் இதனுடைய அடிப்படையை வந்து தமிழர்கள் அங்கே இது பண்ணுறாங்க, போராட்டம் நடத்துகிறாங்க, துணைநாடு கேட்குறாங்க. அதற்கு எதிர்மறையான ஒரு நடவடிக்கை
கொண்டு வந்ததா ஒத்துக்குறங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அடிக்கிறாங்க. நாங்கள் எந்த தப்பும் செய்யலை, மீன் பிடிக்கத்தான் வந்தோம், நாங்கள் எந்த தவறும் செய்யலை, என்ன வேணாலும் பண்ணிக்கிறோங்க. எங்களால் வந்து அதை ஒத்துக்கிற முடியாது, தப்பு செஞ்சால் தான் ஒத்துக்கிற முடியும்.
ஏற்கனவே 2 நாளைக்கு முன்னாடி யாழ்ப்பாணத்தை சேர்ந்த 3 மீனவர்களும் ஒரு சின்ன படகு அவங்கள கைது பண்ணி வச்சுருக்காங்க. அந்த மீனவர்கள் இவங்கள்ட்ட இருந்து ப்ரௌன் சுகரை வாங்கினதாக ஒரு வழக்கை அவங்க அது பண்ணுறாங்க.
தைரியம்லாம் இல்லை, அங்கே உள்ளவனு ரொம்ப பயமுறுத்த ஆரம்பிச்சான், தண்டனை தான் கொடுப்பானுங்க. அந்த மாதிரி நேரங்களில் வந்து ரொம்ப வந்து மைண்ட் வந்து பைத்தியம் பிடிக்கிற ரேஞ்சுக்கு வர்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும்.
எப்படினாலும் செல்லை யார் மூலியமானாலும் வாங்கி எனக்கு மிஸ்டு கால் கொடுப்பாங்க, நான் என் செல்லில் பேலன்ஸ் ஏற்றி வச்சு நான்
இவங்களும் வருவாங்க, அங்கே நடக்கிறது அங்கே வந்து சொல்லுவாங்க அருளாந்தம்.
மேல் நீதிமன்றத்தில் இந்த வழக்கு விசாரணைக்கு வரும்போது அங்கே வந்து அந்த கமாண்டிங் ஆஃபீஸர் ஒரு படம் ஒன்று அவங்க கோர்ட்டில் காட்டினாங்க. இது நான் கூகுளில் எடுத்தேன், இதுதான் நடந்ததுன்னு சொல்கிறாரு. எப்படி காட்டுறான்னா, இந்தியாவிலேருந்து ராமேஸ்வரத்துலேருந்து மீன் பிடிக்கிற படகு போகுது, மன்னாரில் இருந்து ஒரு படகு மீன் பிடிக்க வருது. இந்த 2 பேரும் வந்து அப்படியே சந்திக்காமலே பிரிஞ்சு போகிறாங்க. அப்போ நீதிபதி கேட்டார், இந்த 2 பேருக்குள்ள இடைவெளி எவ்வளவுன்னு கேட்டார். அவர் ஒரு 150-200 மீட்டர்னு சொல்கிறார். அப்போ எப்படி அவங்க மாற்றிக்கிட்டாங்க, அவங்க கடலில் தூக்கி எரிஞ்சாங்க. அப்போ அவர் சிரித்தார், சூரசேனா சிரித்தார்.
அந்த நேரத்தில் எங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு சந்தோஷமாக இருந்துச்சு, என்ன நம்ம 2 பேர் ஒன்றா சந்திக்கலை, ஜட்ஜு இப்படி கேட்குறாரு.
முதல்ல சிங்களத்தில் தான் சொன்னாங்க, பெரும்பகுதி விளங்கலை. நான் நம்ம வக்கீல்கிட்ட கேட்டேன், நமக்கு பாதகமாக இருக்குது அருளானந்த ஐயா அப்படின்னு சொன்னார் அவர். அப்புறம் 11 மணிக்கு அவர் இங்கிலீஷில் சொன்னாங்க.
ஸ்ரீலங்கன் ஃபிஷர்மேன் வந்து அந்த தண்டனை கொடுக்க போகிறதுக்கு ஒரு நேரம் நான் உண்மையை சொல்கிறேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு அதில் ஒருத்தன் சொன்னான், இதை இவங்களுக்கு எங்களுக்கும் எந்த சம்மந்தம் இல்லை, நாங்கள் வேறு போட்டில் வாங்கினோம் இந்த பொருளை, இவங்களை நாங்கள் பார்த்ததும் இல்லை கொண்டதும் இல்லை அப்படின்னு அவன் சொல்கிறான் அந்த தண்டனை கொடுக்க போகிற நேரத்தில். அப்போ சொல்லி என்ன செய்ய,
ఇంచుమించుగా 99% మొత్తం పేదవాళ్ళే. పెద్ద పెద్ద స్కాముల్లో ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఎక్కడో ఒక అరుదైన సంఘటన మినహాయించి ఎవ్వరూ వాళ్ళ జైలుకు రారు. వాళ్ళు వచ్చినా కానీ వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ఉన్న ధనమే వాళ్ళని కాపాడుతుంది.
In the cases of death sentence, the Sessions Court judgment says that he be hanged by the neck until he be dead, subject to confirmation by High Court. Prison authorities usually they don't care about this. They just wanted to finish formalities, just to give a mercy petition, etc. Even those mercy petitions won't be in the form of any jurisprudential arguments. Just they will beg for life.
Is a mercy petition anything more than a criminal pleading for life when he or she has most likely taken life? Recognizing the finality of awarding death by law, the mercy petition is an opportunity for governors and the president to correct wrongful convictions, recognize repentance for crimes, and a willingness to reform. Reflecting on the criminal justice system, President APJ Abdul Kalam wrote that most mercy petitions he received had a social and economic bias, giving him the distinct impression we were punishing those least involved in committing the crime.
Most of those who come to the death rows, and especially those whose life is finished there, they are very poor people. The conviction is the same for everybody. It means finding one guilty, that is conviction. You look at the crime only, not about the criminal. When you speak about sentence, you have to look about whether he has any past history of crimes. Is there a probability of his repeating the crime, or it is only one time in his life? Whether his role has been an active role or just a passive or a collaborative role. Whether he led the gang, what is his education. All these factors have to be seen when deciding the sentence. I had to learn about all those things. Friends from the legal profession, they bought me legal books, case laws, etc. I used to say to opponent before we were given books, don't be afraid of them. We have only one thing to kill here, it is time. We want to kill time.
शाम के बेचौखम सितारों से जीना जीना उतर रही है रात। यूं सबा पास से गुजरती है जैसे कह दी किसी ने प्यार की बात। सहने जिंदा के बेवतन नशजार सरनगू महल बनाने में दामने आसमां पे नक्शो निगार।
I am at the Alipur Central Jail in Kolkata, where legends like Subhash Chandra Bose were once imprisoned. But today my mind is on one man executed here. A security guard done to death for the crimes of rape and murder after 14 years of imprisonment. Dhananjoy Chatterjee.
When this incident happened in 1990 March, I was not in the country. In 2004, when this execution took place, things sort of started coming back to media. There was this big anti-death penalty campaign that was going on, and also there were a lot of people who was in favor of execution of this person. So by then there were a lot of television channels also, and as a result, we started reading about it all over the places.
Whatever they say, rarest of the rare, etc., etc. I remember people I know, people who are good people, good human beings at heart, baying for Dhananjay's blood. I mean, it was blood-curdling, the way they were going about it, the way they were demanding it. What is this? Is it vengeance? Is it one person being killed as a revenge for another?
যদি আমি করে থাকি তাহলে আমাকে ফাঁসি দাও, কোনো আমি ইয়ে করছি না, আমাকে প্রমাণ, আমি তো ইয়ে রাষ্ট্রপতিকেও লিখেছি যে লাই ডেটার সামনে আমাকে জেরা করা হোক, যদি আমি দোষী হই তাহলে আমি কোনো মার্সি করবো না, এই ধরনের জঘন্য কেসে আমি কোনো মার্সি চাইবো না।
According to the prosecution, he has committed murder, and it's just not a very quick murder or anything. There were a lot of random hits on the poor girl. There were a lot of breaking of bones. There was a theft. There was a rape. And then in between, he had to respond to the supervisor's call to the balcony. How can somebody do it? Something like 22 injuries in such a short period. Okay, that doesn't make sense. For me, it's like a mystery to solve. I mean, I am in the profession of science, okay, so I thought that investigation should be a scientific process. When we started, even Dhananjay was not outside our suspicion. We went to the village of Dhananjay and talked to the people that what exactly they knew about the incident. Then we went to the National Library to see all the newspaper reports that appeared around that time. It was clear after some careful reading that these were all based on press briefing given by the Lal Bazar police station. I think the most important collection of documents that we looked at is all these testimonies from different witnesses, the forensic report, the post-mortem report, the seizure list, and all those things. Forget about DNA testing, even the basic analysis of the sample, they didn't do that. The police way of working is that evidences will be created and then a story of investigation will be planted before the court.
একটা লোককে, সাক্ষীদেরকে যদি ধরেন ট্রাকের টায়ার টিউটা খুলে তার মধ্যে তাকে ঢুকিয়ে দিল, ঢুকিয়ে দেওয়ার পরে ওই বারান্দার মধ্যে 3 পাক খাওয়ালো, তখন কি বলছে?
এভাবে কি লালবাজারে করেছে?
লালবাজার তো প্রত্যেককে এখনো তো করছে।
Then we went to Anand apartment. When you go there, you see all these balconies are very securely covered by iron grills. There is no way one can lean through the balconies. So this story that Dhananjay was called around 5:45 by the supervisor of the security agency, and Dhananjay responded by leaning outward from the 3rd floor balcony, which was used as a clinching evidence against him linking to the crime scene, is a complete lie. I mean, this is just fabricated, completely fabricated.
তাছাড়া তাদেরকে এখানে তো ধরেন আমাদের দশরথ মুর্মু, তাকে দেখে এখন নেক্সট আপনি ইয়ে করেন, ওই লালবাজার থেকে লালবাজার থ্রুতে না এনে আপনি সাধারণভাবে ডেকে জিজ্ঞাসা করেন যে ধনঞ্জয় সেদিনে ছিল কিনা।
When he was seen walking down the stairs, according to the liftman, he was wearing light color cloth and there was no stain anywhere. In fact, the forensic person said that there was no blood stain on any of the shirts that the police has seized. This is a picture that we constructed after going through the post-mortem report. You see that all the injuries are essentially on the upper part of the body, on the head, on the face, on the neck, and near the shoulder. And normally, if there is a sexual intercourse against the desire of the victim, you would expect some injuries in the lower part of the body, and then that is absolutely not there, okay? And what is even more interesting is that they say that they found semen in the panties, okay? So the girl must have been wearing the panty after the intercourse. That very strongly contradicts the theory of rape here, okay? And we started completely rethinking the whole thing, okay? So suppose there is no rape, what are the possibilities? Based on all the evidence that can be trusted, the reason I believe this girl was killed is that she had an affair with somebody. That is why you see all this evidence that like semen in the panty and no injury in the lower body. She was probably caught. The family members were angry. She was badly beaten up. She died, and as it happens in Khap Panchayat, the community meets. They decide that how to handle the thing. And you know what happens in Khap Panchayat? Most of the time the family is asked to leave. They are not allowed to stay there. And that is exactly what has happened with Parekh family. Okay.
If you're well-to-do, then you can get away with it. Apart from anything, you can afford lawyers. You can also bribe your way out of things. You can put somebody else in your place and just that person becomes helpless. We went all out to get opinion, public opinion, against the execution, but we found it very, very difficult. People just wanted somebody to kill. This is why I'm saying this is not punishment and it's not justice. It just makes me so angry.
ధనుంజయ్ చటర్జీ చాలా అన్యాయమైన కేసు. అతను ఉరి తీసేయమన్నటువంటి ఆదేశం జైలు వాళ్ళకి అందింది, కానీ గవర్నమెంట్కి అయితే వచ్చింది. 14 సంవత్సరాల తరువాత సుప్రీంకోర్టు వాళ్ళు ఏం చేశారంటే అది రాష్ట్రపతి ఇష్టం, మీరు అప్పీల్ చేసుకోండి అని చెప్పేసి అన్నారు. రాష్ట్రపతి గారి దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత మరి రాష్ట్రపతి గారు ఏంటంటే కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం యొక్క దీన్నే అమలు చేస్తారు కాబట్టి ఆయన అప్పుడు మెర్సీ ఇవ్వలేదు, అప్పుడు ఉరి తీశారు అతన్ని 14 సంవత్సరాల తరువాత.
Even if we forget this debate of whether death penalty is right or wrong, okay, if there is a very strong case of exoneration after somebody has been hanged, I think there cannot be any dispute about that. That case should be clearly looked at.
There's no way of going back. I mean, we don't know if Dhananjay really killed this girl. We don't know if he really committed the sex crime. Very likely he didn't. All the research that has gone into this case after that, they go to show that very likely he wasn't. You know, he was probably innocent. And you can't have even one innocent person killed, no matter what. You cannot have one innocent person killed, and that's it.
Dhananjay was hanged on his 39th birthday. His execution, we were told, would make women in India safer. But we'd been told that before, hadn't we? When serial rape and murder convicts, Autu Shankar, as well as Ranga and Billa, were executed before him. And we're being told that again today, when those convicted in the Nirbhaya and Shakti Mills cases have been given the death sentence. As may others found guilty in the Kathua case, the Unnao case, the Surat case after case that makes the headlines. Even though the death penalty has failed to reduce any crimes anywhere in the world. Yet the clamour for death penalty is increasing in India. So what are we getting wrong here?
The idea is to dissuade other people from committing the same crime. Is that right? So we have to look at how we can go about doing that rather than just killing the person off, because it doesn't end there. These crimes keep on happening. To me, the death penalty is not a solution. But maaf kar do, chacha hai, mama hai, I'm not okay with. It is very, very important to make the child feel that if I make this allegation against a grown-up, against a person in a position of power, then I'm not going to be punished. A lot of people think of sex crimes as, they think of it as sex and not as a crime of power. But it's not intercourse. It is a forced power play. That's a very important distinction to make. Why do people who go to look for Maoists in villages, why do they rape the women? Why do they, strip them? Think of Manipur, think of those women who came out naked and just holding that banner saying, rape me. I mean, how far do you have to push them against the wall for them to react in that way? So you can't say it's army personnel. You can't make them special people who are excused for, human rights violations.
शानाए बाम पर दमकता है मेहरबान चांदनी का दस्त जमील, खाक में घुल गई है आबे नजूम, नूर में घुल गया है अर्श का नील, सब्ज गोशों में नीलगूं साए लहलहाते हैं जिस तरह दिल में मौज दर्द फिराक यारा है।
So when the news came on the 30th of Jan, initially we just couldn't believe it. And my father had to make many calls. Every one of us in the family, we were just so devastated with the news. We were just kind of immobilized. That's how I remember it.
The procession, surrounded and accompanied by so vast a throng, took hours to make the journey.
This is something that we only saw in films. We weren't here, but at home in South Africa, we observed prayers every day. Hundreds of people came to Phoenix. 2 or 3 months later, ashes were sent to Durban, and then we immersed the ashes. The government was an apartheid government, so the government was totally excluded from all the, ceremony. My father is Manilal Gandhi, the second son. Harilal Kaka was the first one, and then after him were 2 other sons, both of whom were born actually in South Africa. After Gandhiji came to India, my father was asked to return to South Africa to continue running the Phoenix settlement, which was the very first ashram started by Gandhiji. The second was a newspaper that Gandhiji had started. And the third was the political activities in South Africa. And we spent about 3 months with him as a little child. And during those 3 months, now when I think of it, it was during the 46-47 period. And it was the crucial period that Gandhiji, faced in his lifetime. It was the most sensitive time as well for him because, of the partition issue, the new constitution, the, handing over of power.
ये सत्य है कि मैंने 300-400 लोगों के बीच दिन के समय गांधी पर गोलियां चलाई। मुझे इस कारण हाथ उठाना पड़ा कि पाकिस्तान बनने पर जो भयंकर घटनाएं हुई उनके उत्तरदायी केवल गांधी जी थे। आलोचनाओं के बावजूद भी मैंने जो कृत्य किया उसके नैतिक पक्ष पर मेरी आत्मा कभी विचलित नहीं हुई। अखंड भारत अमर रहे, वंदे मातरम। दिल्ली 8 नवंबर 1948।
Does blood always seek blood? Pain always want pain in return? When Nathuram Godse and Narayana Apte were given the death sentence, two of Gandhiji's sons, Manilal and Ramdas Gandhi, opposed it through a mercy petition.
Whilst Godse had committed this crime, and it did cause a lot of pain to us, but none of us ever felt that that pain is going to go away if we ask for death penalty. In fact, if Godse could change and begin to think that what I did was wrong, repent for it, and, make changes to his life, that would bring us more satisfaction than seeing him dead. So to me, that was the thinking in my father's mind and my uncle's and so on, that clemency was the best thing.
While in the death row, we had a rethinking of all these things. From selecting an individual and passing a death sentence against him and executing it ourselves without giving him a chance to be heard, etc., that's wrong. As we consider it as a death penalty, I feel it is wrong. I feel sorry for it.
This is violence of the worst sort. It is a violence committed by the state against a person often who is powerless to fight the state, powerless to fight this huge machinery.
They also don't have a huge following that is going to agitate for conversion of the death penalty.
In the Andhra case, those two Dalit young people who were sentenced to death, a consciousness was aroused, helped in saving those people.
ఉరిశిక్ష 2 గంటలు తెల్లవారుజామున 2:30 ఆ టైం అవుతుంది. సూపరింటెండెంట్ గారు వచ్చేస్తే బూట్ల శబ్దం టక 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 అని వినిపిస్తున్నాయి. అప్పుడు నేను గోడకి ఇలా వెనకగా వాలుకొని నేను వేరే ఫీలింగ్స్లో ఉన్నాను. ఏ ఫీలింగ్స్లో ఉన్నానంటే అది ఒక పెద్ద ఒక మాటలో చెప్పగలిగింది కాదు అది. నా దగ్గరికి వచ్చేసి లేపారు. లేపేస్తే ఏంటి సార్ అని చెప్పేసి అన్నాను. చలపతి మీ ఉరి ఆగిపోయింది అన్నాడు. ఊరుకోండి సార్, మా ఉరి ఎలాగా ఆగిపోతుంది, అది ఇంపాసిబుల్, అది ఉరి ఆగదు, నేనేం గొడవ చేయను సార్, నేను ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యి ఉన్నాను, చనిపోవడానికి సిద్ధమై ఉన్నాను, కాబట్టి మీరు తీసుకెళ్ళొచ్చు అని నేను అంటున్నాను. కాదు చలపతి మీకు ఉరి ఆగిపోయింది, కాగితం వచ్చిందని అంటే, లేదు నువ్వు నా చెప్తే నమ్మటం లేదు, కావాలంటే చూడని చెప్పేసి చదివి వినిపించాడు. పక్క వాళ్ళు కూడా చెప్పాడు. మహాశ్వేతాదేవి గారు తర్వాత వీళ్ళ కొంతమంది ఉరిశిక్ష రద్దు కోసం సంతకాలు చేసి వాళ్ళు రాష్ట్రపతి గారికి ఆవిడకి జ్ఞానపీఠ అవార్డు ఆవిడ తీసుకునేటటువంటి సమయంలో రాష్ట్రపతి గారికి ఈ వినతి పత్రం ఇచ్చినటువంటి లాస్ట్లో 8:30 ఆ సమయంలో లాస్ట్లో ఇచ్చిన విషయాలు అయితే తెలుసు మాకు.
ऑल इंडिया डिफेंस कमेटी फॉर एस.आर. गिलानी और फिर टीचर्स फॉर एस.आर. गिलानी, दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी के टीचर्स एंड ऑल इंडिया, उन्होंने एक कैंपेन स्टार्ट किया और उस कैंपेन से फ़ायदा हुआ. मतलब वो दैट चेंज्ड मैनी पीपल. उसका एक व्यू पॉइंट चेंज हुआ, एक एटमॉस्फेयर बनाया उन्होंने. और वो दे वर एक्चुअली fighting it inside the court and outside the court. Core thrust was that, I have been framed. There was no evidence against me at all. इससे सिर्फ एस.आर. गिलानी के लिए नहीं, बल्कि it was a hope for other prisoners as well. शौकत का बाहर आना या अफशान के लिए भी काम हुआ. और then ये आज अगर कोई कह रहा है कि अफजल को ही डिडंट गेट द फेयर ट्रायल, अगर कोई इस वजह से कह रहा है कि देयर वाज ए ऑल इंडिया डिफेंस कमेटी फॉर एच.ए.आर. गिलानी, his hanging was politically motivated completely, we all know it very well. हाई कोर्ट का जजमेंट उठा के देखें, हाई कोर्ट में सेंटेंस लिखा हुआ है, पुलिस हैज़ फैब्रिकेटेड द एविडेंस, पुलिस हैज़ फॉर्ज्ड द डॉक्यूमेंट्स। उसके बाद वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट कहती है कि भाई इतना बड़ा इंसिडेंट हुआ है, टू सेटिस्फाई द कॉन्शियंस ऑफ द सोसाइटी। कौन सी सोसाइटी थी जिसका कॉन्शियंस को सेटिस्फाई करना था और एक आदमी को डेथ सेंटेंस देना था।
இந்திய தூதரகத்திலிருந்து ஒரு ஃபோன் கால் வந்துச்சு, நீங்கள் உடனே புறப்பட்டு வெளிக்கடை சிறைச்சாலைக்கு வாங்க, கொழும்புக்கு வாங்கன்னு சொன்னாங்க. அங்கே வாசல்லையே இவங்க நம்ம இந்திய தூதரகம் ஒரு 3 பேர் அங்கே இருந்தாங்க. சொன்னார் அதனால தான் நம்ம பிஎம் இவர்கிட்ட பேசுகிறார், ராஜபக்சேட்ட நேராக பேசிட்டார், வரும் ஒரு விளைவு வரும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டாப்ப. அது ஒன்று கைதியாக மாற்றலாம், இந்த கைதியாக அங்கே இருக்கலாம். அப்போ நான் இதில் எனக்கு ஒரு மன திருப்தி இருந்துச்சு. ஒன்று தேசியத்தை பற்றியே அதிகம் பேசின பாரதிய ஜனதா, அவங்க ஏன் செய்ய மாட்டாங்க, மோடி ஏன் செய்ய மாட்டார் அப்படின்னு எனக்கு ஒரு நம்பிக்கை இருந்தது, உள்ளூர ஒரு இருந்தது.
மோடியே சப்போர்ட் பண்ணுறாங்கன்னு அது தெரியல, ஆனால் இன்னும் படகுகள் பிடிக்க தான் செய்கிறாங்கல்ல.
எப்படியாவது நம்ம சுஷ்மா ஸ்வராஜை போய் பார்ப்போம், அவங்க கைதியாக இல்லாமல் விடுதலையாகி வருவாங்க, இந்தியாவுக்கு வருவாங்க.
அப்போ டெல்லிக்கு போகிறீங்களாக்குன்னு சொல்லுவேன்னா, ஆமாம் டெல்லிக்கு. அப்போ தான் நானும் சொல்லுவேன், ஃப்ளைட்லேயே ஏறினது இல்லைல்ல, இப்போ என்னாலும் ஃப்ளைட்டில் சுற்றி பார்த்துட்டு வாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறேன். எங்களுக்கு வந்து சர்ச்சில் வந்து ஃபங்க்ஷன் வச்சுட்டாங்க. கூட்டமாக போராட்டத்துக்கு எவ்வளோ கூட்டம் வந்துச்சோ அதை விட அதிகமான கூட்டங்கள் வந்து அன்றைக்கி வர்றேன்றக்கு தூக்கிட்டே தான் நாங்கள் ஆட்களை தூக்கிக்கிட்டு வந்து மேடையில் விட்டு எல்லாத்தையுமே கொண்டு வந்து வச்சு பெரிய ஃபங்க்ஷனாக கொண்டாடினாங்க.
We wrote the petition. Actually, we are for participating in political life, public life. For that, we want you to spare our life. The state government recommended to the governor to reduce the sentence, and Karnanidhi was a chief minister. That is why he often claims credit for sparing my life.
शायद इकबाल का है, किसका है, तो कपलेट याद आया, आगोश सदफ जिसके नसीबों में नहीं, वो कतरे नीसा कभी बन न सका गौहर. So I saw this, this shell as that sheep and myself as a qatra. I said, I hope that this will turn into something different. I have spoken to people throughout the length and breadth of this country. And I asked them one question, this one. आप मुझे ये बताइए कि ये पार्लियामेंट पे अटैक किसने किया? And till this moment, nobody has answered this question. एल के अडवाणी जो उस वक्त डिप्टी प्राइम मिनिस्टर भी थे, होम मिनिस्टर थे, उन्होंने कहा कि दे लुक लाइक पाकिस्तानीज. अब ये लुक लाइक पाकिस्तानी क्या होता है?
When we commit capital punishment, we do create martyrs. So what happens is that the people who believe in this one ideology, they would then continue to believe in it even more strongly because the person was committed to death penalty.
हर साल जब वो 13 दिसंबर का आता है, so they will keep reminding people. When court pronounces a judgment against someone in these cases, then it is taken as a gospel truth. It is celebrated. But when the same person is released, it is not even mentioned in that.
Think of it, if Godse was still alive, and if he had begun to look at some of the implications of what he did, he might have convinced the people to think otherwise.
मैं तो सोचता हूँ कि हैंग करना कोई ठीक नहीं है. आप कितने लोगों को सूली पे लौटाएंगे? सिर्फ एक आदमी, एक लड़का को सूली पे लटका देने से कल 10 लड़के उसको सिर्फ न्यूज़ में देख लेते वो चेंज हो जाएंगे, वो कभी नहीं होगा। ये भी एक टेररिज्म जैसा ही चीज़ है। हमारा जो लॉ है उसमें सोचना चाहिए, क्योंकि हम लोग तो वही चीज़ कर रहे हैं, वो बंदूक से मार रहे हैं, हम उनको रस्सी से मारे।
There have been lots of capital punishment in India of people like Bhagat Singh, many others. And if we say that it was capital punishment that put these people to death, do you have opposition to that? Then shouldn't we oppose death penalty as a rule?
I believe the goodness of human beings. Nobody is born an evil person. Everybody can be transformed. Actually, we in prison have converted so many people to a good life, to a crimeless life. We have turned criminals into very good social workers. In that sense, I have not mellowed with time. My hair might have had grayed. My spirit has never grayed.
दिल से पहम ख्याल कहता है, इतनी शीरी है जिंदगी इस पल, जुल्म का जहर घोलने वाले कामरां हो सकेंगे आज न कल। जलवा गाहे विसाल की शमें वो बुझा भी चुके अगर तो क्या, चांद को गुल करें तो हम जाने।
Dear Vani, it took me so long to think about your question. But today, on the anniversary of Gandhiji's assassination, I feel I may be able to answer it. Your question raises a much bigger problem facing human beings. We are estranged from each other. We live in fear and label people as thieves, murderers, etc. People are not born with these attributes. Inequalities drive them to behave in such an antisocial manner. Indeed, something has died in us many years ago when we stratified society, began wars and exploitation. And it further ties each time we sanction and call for such cruel acts as the death of another human being, and when we, through our governments, execute people. I hope this answers your question. Ila Gandhi.
है।